2015. Thank you for coming to the developer sessions, and hello people on Twitch who are watching this online now. I'm Bertie, a writer for Eurogamer, and it's my pleasure to introduce this next session, to introduce the guys from ArenaNet, who are showing the Heart of Thorns expansion, the first expansion for Guild Wars 2. So please join me in welcoming to the stage John Corpening, Game Director for the PvP and World v World for Guild Wars 2.
How are you guys doing? I'm John Corpening. I am the game director for Guild Wars 2, World vs. World, and PvP, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here to our exploration of the desert borderlands for World vs. World that's coming in the Heart of Thorns expansion. So I want to tell you guys that I've been having a fantastic time here at Rezzed, and so talked to a lot of players, talked to a lot of all of you guys here, and had a fantastic community night last night. So my voice is on its last thread. So I just wanted to give you a warning in case my voice goes into smooth jazz mode. Yeah. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment to reflect on the Guild Wars 2 experience and talk about what's coming in Heart of Thorns expansion. Guild Wars 2 is the MMO that defies traditional conventions. It is the MMO where the journey is the goal. And if you take this journey with us into the land of Tyria, you and your friends will explore a vast world with a story that has expanded and grown through over 40 live releases since launch. These releases have set the stage for what happens next in Heart of Thorns. I'm going to take a slight drink of water right there. If you take this journey with us into structured PvP, you'll experience friendly and fierce competition in short, intense matches of skill, where there is no grind to be on a level playing field with other players. And as you develop your skills, we would like to welcome you to join us in our ESL tournaments that happen regularly, which can lead to the World Tournament Series. We actually just had one last weekend in Boston. Players competed for over $50,000 in prizes. And in case you guys hadn't heard yet, Orange Logo won it for Europe. If your journey takes you into World vs. World, you'll experience a three-sided war on the epic scale, where hundreds of players battle for castles, keeps, towers, and more to gain victory for the world. And if you take this journey with us, you'll be doing it with the friendliest community that you will ever meet. And I mean all of you guys. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for the warm welcome to London. All of our core systems are designed to revolutionize how players see other players in online games. In Guild Wars 2, another player can't steal your kill. Instead, they join you on the hunt. All players can res, which means you can always help a stranger on the road. And our combo system allows players to work together to overcome challenges. All of this and more makes it always a pleasure to meet another stranger on the road while playing Guild Wars 2. Heart of Thorns will be laying the foundation for the future of Guild Wars 2. In it, we will introduce the Mastery system, an account-wide endgame progression system that will give players the abilities they need to overcome the challenges they'll be facing. At the core of these challenges is the Heart of Maguma, our new region. In it, players will be able to explore the jungle from the airy canopies to the caverns beneath the forest floor. Heart of Thorns will introduce a whole new way of experiencing all of the game in our new profession, the Revenant. Revenants are heavy-armored masters of the mists who call upon the legends of the past to grant them skills and abilities to defeat their foes. Structured PvP will see the addition of Champion's Dusk, our first map for our new game mode, Stronghold. In Stronghold, players collect supply to raise troops to storm the enemy defenses and defeat their lord. Heart of Thorns will also bring player specializations, profession specializations, which will give you brand new ways to play your existing characters, challenging PvE content, and guilds will be stronger than they've ever been before. More information on these features will be coming between now and launch. But today, we are here to talk about the World versus World Desert Borderlands. But wait, there's more. We have also decided to reveal today our brand new siege weapon for World versus World. So make sure you stay tuned and catch a glimpse of that at the end. And now it is my pleasure to welcome Tyler and Terza to the stage. Game designer Tyler Bierce and environment artist Terza Bauer. We actually call this dynamic duo TNT, and they're here to tell you all about the Desert Borderlands map.
All right, thanks, John. So we've actually got 2 exclusive new videos showing off the Desert Borderlands map, and we're going to play one right now before we get into the presentation, and then towards the end we're going to play the second one. So go ahead and start that for me.
Peggy 12.
All right. So pretty exciting stuff here. So if you're new to Guild Wars 2 or unfamiliar with World versus World, the way it currently works is we have 4 huge maps where players fight for territory. Right now we have the Center Eternal Battlegrounds map, and then 3 Borderlands maps representing each server's home world. And now that we're introducing a new map, this map we're referring to as the Alpine Borderlands Map, and the new one as the Desert Borderlands Map. When the expansion releases, we are going to be replacing the existing Borderlands map with the new updated map. And we'll talk about plans of reintroducing this map, whether it's a rotation or a tournament or something else at a later date. Let's go ahead. So in the new map, we've got a whole bunch of new things to talk about. We've got a huge new event in the center of the map. We have new tower and keep layouts. We have a new objective type called shrines, and we have a new siege weapon. And the environments in this new map are really distinct and diverse. Pass it over to Tirza to talk about the aesthetics and design of the map.
Yeah, as John said, I'm the environment artist on the new World Borderlands map, and so I'm going to talk about some art stuff, layout stuff, and show you cool and pretty pictures. As you guys know, the general theme of this map is desert, but that is not only what it is. And so I'm going to go through and show you some cool areas that are also in this area, this new map. And for example, in this area, it's a big, sprawling, very savanna type of a desert, but there's these entryways that actually go deep underground, and you'll find that there is our first entirely underground keep. It's fully subterranean, layered environment for you to explore and defend. In the center of the map is a very lush oasis. It's full of dinosaurs, very tall trees, pathways.
I love dinosaurs.
Who doesn't? In one corner, there's a spooky undead forest where we have our Lich-themed tower, which I'll go into later. Oh, sorry. This area here is our canyon system, which is in one part of the map. The canyons are very tall. There are pathways that go up and down the canyons. There is a keep that is built deep into the walls of the canyons. And then, let's see. Next. Oh, yeah. And now I want to talk about the actual layout of these objectives. Not only has the art been upgraded and evolving, but we're evolving how the objectives actually take over the terrain. So one of the things I'm going to point out here in the picture is normally when you're defending a gate, the defenders have to stand up in a line, like right on top of the gate, and it's pretty hard to defend because all the attackers can see right where you are. So now we have surrounded all our gates with extra pathways for you to stand on, so that the attackers actually have to get right underneath you, and that they have a little harder time seeing where defenders are above them. And another big thing is I'm going to show it's a top-down view of a current tower in Alpine Borderlands right now. He's so cute. And the current towers, they do some good things. They give you points. They will protect, say, a trebuchet when you're trying to treb another objective. But one thing that it was having trouble with is that enemies could just run circles around it. It was really hard to defend because it can be attacked from any side. And here's a top-down view of a new tower. And basically, it takes advantage of the terrain. And so there's two mountains on the side there that are you can't traverse over them. And so it's basically planted right in that pathway. And so owning objectives in this new map is very important because it's going to create shortcuts. It creates a way for you to gain foothold over the map, because if you don't own, if you own a tower or a keep, you can move past and get to areas a lot faster than, say, the enemy team has to walk all the way around. So if you get separated from your Zerg, if you own a tower, you can actually pop right to them a lot faster. That's what those little white arrows are. They're actually doorways that you can walk through. There are walls there, so if attackers they don't own the tower, they can actually blow up those walls as well and create a shortcut. All right, take a drink of water. Another big thing that I'm super excited about with this map is terrain variation. And what I mean by this is that this map has a lot more, has a greater depth of the level of play in it. And so there are areas like this in the airkeep area where you have some small bottlenecks, these bridges that you can walk over that are very dangerous. You have to make sure that you're using stability so that people can't blow you off. However, that's not how the whole map is. It just means that, like with our underground keep, there's a fully playable area above it. There's just a lot more space for players to play in. And not only that, but as you're moving around in the map, there's a lot of hidden paths. There's a lot of secret ways that you can go, different ways you can go. There's always like a clear way to be able to traverse the map, but people who play in this map a lot learn the map, and that you actually are rewarded for playing this map, knowing the map, because you can actually find all these secret pathways to kind of run away and maybe get away from a Zerg or get to an area faster. And then, yeah, back to the airkeep in this canyon area. We're going to dive a little deeper into the cool mechanics that are around it, and I'll let Tyler talk about that.
Okay, thanks, Tirza. In this new map, we've got 3 keeps, just like the existing Borderlands map. We've gone out of our way to make these keeps more thematic, more interesting. They have different bonuses, and there's different types of creatures guarding them. The keeps specifically are all elemental themes, so we have an air, earth, and fire keep. So first we're going to talk about the air keep. One thing with each of the keeps is there's 3 elemental shrines surrounding them. And this is one of our shrines of air. These are going to be situated outside the walls of the keep, and these are can be claimed to provide elemental-themed bonuses to defenders in the region around the keep. So with the first shrine bonus, if the team that owns the keep and captures at least 1 shrine, jump pads turn on all around the canyons outside the keep. And these allow the team that owns them, you can see they're actually glowing blue, so blue team owns them right now, and their team will be able to boost themselves up to the top of the cliffs. They can use these to escape attacking enemies. They can use it to get onto the cliffs to flank a group of enemies and come at them from behind, various things. And so that's 1 shrine. If you get a second shrine, now these bird statues that are along bridges, narrow passageways on top of staircases turn on, and they periodically blow a gust of air, and that can knock off players that are running through them. You can actually dodge through it, so if you're on your toes, or you can use stability.
And something that we found with this too was a lot of Zergs. If you're just yourself running by these, they're actually pretty easy to dodge. But if you're in a Zerg, a lot of people turn their mind off when they're in a Zerg, and they just blindly run into them and start falling. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Just like the jump pads, the birds themselves have the glowing line around them to tell you which team they're on. So these ones are on red team. And the third bonus, if you can control all 3 shrines, is now your team doesn't take any falling damage while you're in the canyon surrounding the air keep.
It's really fun.
So coupled with the jump pads, you can boost yourself to the top of the cliffs, jump down, surprise an enemy group. You just have crazy mobility, and that's sort of what we were trying to push with the air theme of this keep. And this keep, being an air keep, is guarded by Tengu. So this is our keep lord here, and he has a number of unique skills because we're trying to make the keep lord encounters a bit more interesting, engaging, and this guy has skills where he jumps up into the air and creates a wind prison, and then players inside of there can't move in and out very easily. He slashes his sword and fires projectiles that fly out. He teleports around and knocks people down. If there ends up being a big battle between the defending team and the attacking team inside the Lord room now, the Lord actually matters in the fight, right? He can seriously contribute to the fight and start turning it. The other thing you can kind of see in this, there's the bird statues in the Lord room. These are not actually tied to the shrines, but they turn on and do gusts of wind periodically through the fight. So that's just one more thing to keep track of, and we do that sort of thing with each of the 3 keep lords. Okay, so we talked about the air keep. Next up is the fire keep. And this is our fully underground keep with lava everywhere. And it too has 3 shrines. Shrines of fire are all around it. And if you control the first shrine, there's an altar in the center of the keep that spawns a inferno egg periodically. And the team that controls the keep, player can interact with it, consumes the egg, and they transform into an Inferno Hound, which is a super powerful transformation, and periodically the egg will come back, and you can have multiple of these guys running around and supporting you. It has increased health, increased power, increased toughness. It can leap into the sky and unleash fiery destruction on your enemies. These are super tanky frontliners. You don't really want to deal with them if you're the opposing team. Second bonus is the fire turrets. We've got these gargoyle statues all along the inside of the cavern where the keep is at. Normally they're off. Once they turn on, they glow the team color that owns them, and they will launch fireball projectiles out just to harass and sort of pressure any enemies that are setting up siege or just traveling through the area, keeping them in combat, limiting their mobility a little bit, maybe even finishing them off if a fight occurs outside the keep. And the third bonus is fire immunity. So what that means is your team, while they're in the caverns around the keep, gain immunity to the burning condition, and also they can walk on lava. And there's lava all around the keep. They can be used as shortcuts. You can pull invaders into the lava and immobilize them, lock them down, let them burn a fiery death. Also in this picture, we have what we're calling lava portals. It's the circular area, and around each gate, there's one inside and outside. So your team can actually dive into the lava and come out on the corresponding one on the other team. So if a group of invaders is sieging this gate, you can dive into your side on the other side of the gate and come in behind them and take them out. So it just gives some additional mobility options. Sets up some cool play. Okay, so we've talked about the air and fire keep. Next up is the earth keep. This is a sort of a Surin complex ripped apart by elemental earth forces. No Asura live here anymore. What's left is just golems guarding the area, Asura golems. So if you capture the first Shrine of Earth, your team gains access to rock walls, and these aren't going to be immediately obvious because they're actually buried underneath the sands of the canyons surrounding the keep. And for enemy invaders attempting to siege the keep, they actually have to go through these windy canyons. And when an enemy invader approaches a place where these are buried, the rock will jet out of the sands and block their way, forcing them to take a long maze-like route through them. And then when the invaders pass away, they'll sink back into the sand. So your team can easily pass through the canyons, while an invading team will have to take a longer route. The second bonus is our earth turrets, and these pulse an area cripple effect, and they turn on and off. These also glow the team color that they're on, so these are glowing red right now. They're often located in choke points created by the pop-up earth walls, so invaders will not only have to go the windy way, but now they might want to pause to sneak past these cripple things or use condition removal, so otherwise they're going to be even slower getting through the canyons. And the third bonus, super cool, a Sandstorm effect sort of turns on through the canyons. And as long as your allies are within that Sandstorm, they're effectively permanently stealthed. Like existing stealth, as soon as you strike an enemy, you're going to come out of stealth. But if you're able to drop combat for a few seconds, you'll be able to re-enter stealth as long as you're within this area. And
this canyon, you can basically think of it as like a moat around the entire keep. And so yes, it's not super high, but it is enough that players, if enemies have to get around this area, they have to go into this moat.
Yeah, and the other thing is it's elevation based. So like you can see a plane, if your allies come out of the dust, maybe up to the shrine or up on this rocky perch, they'll actually unstealth, and then they can re-stealth by going back underneath. And so one other thing I wanted to mention with all these powerful bonuses is that if you're not the team that owns the keep, you can capture these to disable these defenses one at a time, right? And the shrines are soloable objectives. They're meant to draw a few people out of the keep to maintain them and create sort of a diverse fight that it's not all stacked up around the walls. We want people like fighting over these shrines to contest these super powerful bonuses. The other thing that the shrines provide is, regardless of your team, whichever team owns the shrine can interact with the shrine to get a temporary, like a 5-minute blessing, elemental blessing, and that provides a movement speed increase, and then also depending on the element, either like a 10% attack damage bonus or reduced incoming damage, increased critical strike, that kind of thing. So even if you don't own the keep, you're going to want to take these down to reduce the defenses and also to gain the temporary buff. If there's going to be a big brawl over one of these shrines, you're going to want to buff all of your team so you're a little bit stronger before you go attack. And I'm going to lead this over to Tirza to talk about some of the towers now.
Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, we've seen the keeps, we've seen their themes, and so I wanted to go through the 4 towers in the map and show you their strong themes that we've implemented in this new map. Something that I really wanted to do with this new map is make it feel more like a lived-in place, that you're really defending places that you care about, that are real places that you would want to live and hang out in. And so one of the towers is called our Mage College, and it's basically got this little village around it. It's like this magical tower, and there's a disciples of fire and ice guarding it. And the Mage Lord, she's you have to be really careful with her. You have to be on your toes because she's using lots of fire and ice themed skills, AoE skills, cascades. She'll turn into mist and like pop to one side of the room. And with a lot of these lords, we're really wanting to just create engaging encounters. So they're not, super crazy difficult, but they're a lot of fun, and that's trying to just improve the overall tower experience when you're taking them.
Sneak some water here.
The second tower is a ogre-themed tower. The ogres have moved in over this derelict tower that was almost falling over, and you can see all the scaffolding on the tower there. And the ogre lord is a thief, and she, yes, that's a she. She
works out.
She does, yes. She has a lot of stealth abilities, and so you'll be fighting her, and then she'll disappear in a cloud of smoke, and you don't know where she'll appear over someone and just start stabbing them, and then disappear again and run around, so you have to find out where she goes. And the third tower is a char-themed tower. It's kind of like a little war depot, guarded by a bunch of char. He's got a char with a big hammer hanging out in the center, and he does a lot of control abilities. He will pull everyone to you, he'll immobilize you, and then he'll explode. This is our Lich themed tower, and it's in the kind of like spooky forest area we showed earlier. And he has some really cool skills. Not only does his auto attack, he pulls conditions off of himself and just randomly applies it to anyone attacking him, but he summons minions, and then he'll also start channeling a beam on a player, and that player will start exploding AoE damage to all his friends. So he has to actually run away, otherwise he's going to wipe everybody and get yelled at. And then back to Tyler for the Oasis event.
Okay, so this is a totally new thing that we're doing with this map. In the center of the map, I think as we've mentioned already, is a huge lush jungle oasis with the bamboo pathways and the trees and the dinosaurs and all of that fun stuff. Once every 3 hours, we're going to kick off a big event here. And there's going to be a 15-minute warning. And in the center of that oasis is a golden temple. And on top of that golden temple is a huge energy weapon. And naturally, your team's going to want to control that weapon, power it up, and shoot it off. Unfortunately, since it's out of power, you're going to have to recover power cores. And they have been swallowed by some of the local wildlife. So players are going to be tracking down some dinosaurs with markers over their head that are a little bit electrically charged, and slay the monster to pick up power core. And once you get a power core, there are 3 Derman Priory research camps around the edges of the oasis, and you're going to have to actually run it from wherever you killed the dinosaur to the research camp. And of course, enemy players are going to see you moving on the map, and they have the opportunity to try and deny you that, pick up the core and turn it in themselves.
Also, any team can turn it into any camp. It's not color coordinated, so it just makes it easier for you to be able to turn in. It's not
it makes it less so that one big team can just camp the turn-in point, kill anyone who comes in, and immediately turn them in. So you have a chance to turn it in anywhere that you can. So what happens after you charge up the cannon? Well, it fires into the sky repeatedly. The beam splits off and lands at every enemy objective. And it will gradually destroy the outer gates of those objectives. And so for towers, that means there's only one gate. So if the team that controls the cannon also makes it over to your tower, they only have to burn through the guards and then the tower lord to capture your objective. And because it fires at every enemy objective, it actually works as a bit of a comeback mechanic. If you're the losing team and you manage to immediately, more difficultly, win the Oasis event, then it will fire at all 3 keeps and all 4 towers, and now you have a much easier time breaking through and taking some of those objectives back. And
also, the dinosaurs they're not hard to kill, and so if you have a small team like a Havoc group that's super fast, you are able to get around like the big slow Zerg. You can actually ninja these cores before the big Zerg can. You can actually take them out really with less people if you're smart about it.
Yeah, so you're probably going to want to split your group up a bit so that you can cover more sections of the Oasis to pick up more power cores at any given time. All right, I think it's about time to show off the new siege weapon. All right, I guess, yeah, all right, so we have the shield generator. This is our first control and support oriented siege weapon. It has about the range of an arrow cart, and it generates force fields. The first skill is the force ball, and it actually lobs a ground-targeted projectile up into the air, and it'll smash into the ground, knocking back invaders, and after landing, it'll actually bounce in a random direction a couple of times. And this is important because with the changes to stability and stacks, this will help actually soften up groups every time it hits them. And the second ability is the force wall. And this will block off, again, it has a range similar to Arrow Cart. It will block off sections that you can't pass through for invaders. You can use this to block off bridges, doorways. You can use a couple shield generators and make choke points. You can summon it in the center of an enemy group to split them in half. It has a lot of tactical potential. And the third ability is the Force Dome. This is a huge projectile blocking bubble. It also pulses stability for allies within it. And the great thing about the shield generator is it's actually the counter to other shield generators, because this bubble will block the incoming force balls, and it also provides stability for like breaking through the force wall, or even if you get hit with one of the balls outside of the dome.
And all right, that is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for coming. We have actually one more video for everyone who's stayed till the end. And we're going to show it to you now, and it's basically a video of just armies fighting over in this cool new map, and so you can get a better view of how it's going to be when you actually get in there and start to play. Exciting.
So I want to thank you all for joining us on our dive into the Desert Borderlands map. We will be at our booth, so if you have any questions for us, just please feel free to come by and talk to us over there. I'll be happy to answer all of your questions. And now that we've done this big reveal, we'll be happy to talk about World versus World and Desert Borderlands map as well. Thanks again. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming, everybody. I felt like having a big fight now. That was perfect. The next session in here is a Rare reunion. What could it be? Some people that used to work for Rare talking about a new thing. So come and see that at 5 o'clock. It's the Creative Assembly Game Jam, which is always tons of fun. So come and watch that as well. And thank you. Have fun.